Marco Delgado wiped the sweat from his brow and pushed his cart a few feet forward. The soft hum of the ocean just behind him. The wheels of the ice cream cart groaned against the hot sand, and the umbrella above it flapped lazily in the breeze. It was another blazing summer day on Miami Beach, where the tourists never stopped coming and the sun never stopped burning. He glanced at the time. 2:07 p.m. He'd already sold 20 popsicles and 12 cones. That meant tonight his mom could get her medication without borrowing again. He smiled at the thought and went back to work. That's when she appeared. She didn't look like anyone who belonged on the beach. High heels, sunglasses that probably cost more than his cart, and a flowing silk scarf that danced around her shoulders. Her hair was perfectly styled, not a strand out of place. She didn't walk, she glided. *2. Scoops of pistachio, she said, her voice low, rich and smooth like a jazz song at midnight. Marco blinked. That's a bold flavor choice. She raised an eyebrow. Are you judging my order, ice cream boy? He chuckled, scooping the pale green ice cream into a cone. No, ma'am, just impressed. Most people play it safe with vanilla or chocolate. She smiled. I never play it safe. Marco handed her the cone, their fingers brushing. She didn't pull away. What's your name? She asked. Marco. Well, Marco, I'm Sabrina. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. And just like that, she walked away, heels sinking slightly into the sand, scarf fluttering behind her like a whisper. She came back the next day and the day after. Sometimes she wore a hat. Sometimes she wore sunglasses so big they covered half her face. But Marco always knew it was her. Sabrina Lang, fashion mogul, cover star. The kind of woman who dated billionaires and hosted charity galas in Paris. He didn't know why she was talking to him, why she laughed at his stupid jokes or stayed longer than she needed to. But she did. You're not like anyone I know, she said once, licking strawberry ice cream from her finger. They all talk in circles. You talk like the truth. Marco shrugged. Just talk like me. One morning, before the tourists arrived, she showed up early. No heels this time. Just a simple dress and bare feet. Walk with me, she asked. They strolled along the shoreline, waves kissing their ankles. She told him about the pressure of being Sabrina Lang, the board meetings, the photo shoots, the constant eyes. And he told her about his mother, how she used to make mango ice cream from scratch, how she still smiled through the pain. They laughed. Sometimes they didn't speak at all. And somehow, that silence said everything. By mid-July, it became a ritual. Every morning before the crowd, every evening after sunset, they met. Sometimes with ice cream, sometimes just with stories. Sabrina never took photos. Marco never asked why she came, but he knew. She needed escape, and he needed her more than he was willing to admit. Then came the storm, a real one, with rain and thunder and tourists running for cover. Marco pushed his cart back to the shack he rented behind a run-down motel. But he wasn't thinking about the storm. He was thinking about Sabrina. She hadn't shown up that morning. He waited the next day. And the day after. No scarf, no smile, no heels in the sand. She was gone. On the 5th day, he saw her, but not on the beach. She was on the cover of a tabloid at a newsstand. Sabrina Lang's secret summer fling. Who is the ice cream boy? Marco froze. The photo was grainy but unmistakable, the two of them walking barefoot at dawn. She was laughing. He was looking at her like she was the only thing that mattered. The headline didn't lie. The next few days were chaos. Tourists began snapping photos of him. Reporters asked him questions. Strangers called him a gold digger. His boss warned him about the attention. And Sabrina. She didn't come back. One night, just before closing, Marco found a folded note tucked under his cart's umbrella. No name, just a sentence. Meet me where the waves touch the rocks. Midnight? He almost didn't go, but of course he did. She was waiting barefoot, scarfless, raw. No makeup, just Sabrina. I didn't mean for it to happen, she said. The press, the photo. I thought we were invisible. Marco stared at her, his heart thudding. You left without saying anything. I was scared, she said. They've ruined people for less than falling in love with someone like you. Someone like me. She reached out, touched his chest. Someone honest. Someone real. Silence. Then Marco asked the question he'd been avoiding since the start. Asterisk, is this real for you? Or just a break from your world? She looked up, eyes glistening. It started as a break. But now, it's the only place I feel like myself. He hesitated. Then, why run? She stepped closer. Because if I stay, I lose everything. My company, my image, my control. Asterisk, and what do you gain? He asked softly. You. That night, they kissed. Not like a movie kiss. No music, no camera pans. Just salt on their lips, wind in their hair, and trembling hands. But real. And that changed everything. The next few weeks were fire and rain. Sabrina disappeared from the media. Her brand took a hit. Investors panicked. Asterisk, but then something wild happened. She held a press conference, standing in front of flashing cameras. Sabrina Lang didn't deny the story. She told the truth. I met someone this summer, she said. He doesn't wear designer suits or fly private. But he reminded me what happiness feels like. If that costs me my empire, so be it. Asterisk, the room exploded with questions. But Sabrina just smiled. I'm done living someone else's story. I'm writing my own now. Marco watched it all from his tiny motel room, stunned. The next day, she walked up to his cart, barefoot again. You still serving pistachio? He grinned. Only for you. She handed him $1. So, can a billionaire date an ice cream boy full-time? He leaned over the cart. Only if she promises not to wear heels on the sand. She laughed, and the world didn't matter anymore. Epilogue. 1 year later, the Miami sun still blazed. Tourists still lined up for ice cream. But now the cart had a sign on it. Asterisk, Lang and Delgado's Creamery. Love in every scoop. And just beside the cart, under a blue umbrella, sat Marco and Sabrina barefoot, smiling and still writing their story. Asterisk, together.